Right. Hello. I think we're live. Um, so got the chat there. That's good. Need to check that as well. Let's just check that's on. It should be fine. Let's see. Yeah, fantastic. Right, so that's good. It's working fine. So welcome to the stream, everyone. Different location today. I'm doing a lot of moving stuff basically, so we're going to be doing it from a different location. But in fact, I might be able to close the door. How dry is this? I'm going to try this. Don't know how. Yeah, it's dry enough. Got a towel there, which is drying. That's all fine. So, yeah. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Hope you're well. We have got some early team news, which I'll have to bring up my Twitter account to check. But basically, we've got Madueke playing on the left with Timber playing at right back instead of. So it's weird that FootMob hasn't got it yet, but they had Martinelli and White playing, I think. Oh no, they had Martinelli and Timber, so they were close. They're just missing out on that one player. But it's Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Madueke, Gyökeres. And interestingly, Max Dowman makes the bench, which is really interesting. The bench is Kappa, Mosquera, Martinelli, Kivior, Trossard, Nwaneri, Marino, Lewis Skelly, Dowman. Just thinking about striking options, I think it's just Trossard and Martinelli as like false nines, probably. This is the only problem I've got with the current situation that we're in, is that we don't have another option at striker, like as a traditional striker anyway. But I think Kai Havertz does a really good job of kind of going, here we go, yeah, so they've updated the lineup. Kai does a fantastic job of also being a false nine, but can also play that combative, aggressive, physical striker. If you saw the goal he scored against Athletic Bilbao, it's fantastic. The other thing I'm wanting to keep an eye on, it's also actually worth mentioning, there's no let's see, is there a White on the bench? There isn't. So in terms of right back, if Timber needs to come off at some point, which is probably likely, I would say in the second half, Mosquera will probably be the one to come on for that. Or potentially Calafiori to right back and Lewis Skelly to left back. So it's a good team. It's pretty close to full strength. The other thing, as I was just about to talk about, was do we see Eze being announced? That's the question. No idea. Absolutely no idea. I'd like to be able to watch that, but I don't know if the Arsenal website has that. So that's something I'm going to have to check. So let's see. If I go to the Arsenal website. I'd like to be able to. There is a little stream. Let's see if. To log in first, of course. When we do that, it should be fine. Yeah. Just have to turn the... Okay, yeah. That's good. So that should be fine. Oh, Huddersfield are winning. Finally, against Stevenage. Huddersfield looking to go closer to the top of the league, I think. But the way we're going to do this today is we're going to put this stuff that you're seeing up here but we're going to change it to the play-by-play thing later. That's the plan. So, what's the other thing I was going to say? I'm just going to check some other scores while we're at it. So, Burnley are beating Sunderland 1-0 now. When did they score? I must have missed that. It was just after the start of the second half. Big win for Burnley, that, if they manage to hold on to that one, definitely. It's a really big win, that one. And yeah, Hull losing 3-0 to Blackburn. In terms of the Spurs game, another thing we can talk about from earlier, Spurs winning 2-0 at the Etihad. It's like City just can't beat Spurs at the moment. They're absolutely terrible against them every time. But I just think Spurs players have got such running power that they can play against City. And the way they traditionally play, they can match them. And more than match them, actually can beat them in the midfield. And comparing the two midfields today, I watched the game and it was like night and day. Absolute night and day. They couldn't really keep up with the way that they ran, I think, on the counter. And it is worth mentioning as well that if Spurs don't score that mistake that Trafford makes, I think the game does end up getting to a point where it peters out into a 0-0, because it did look like they were probably not going to score after a certain point. But their press was very, very strong. I seem to remember they were very brave at some points, going man to man all over the pitch. The kind of thing I'll probably expect to see from Leeds today, to be honest, against Arsenal. But I think with Spurs, they've got the ability to be able to not just do that, but also transition quickly back to a deep block and then transition forward again. They've got the kind of wind-up merchants of Romero and Richarlison. And I don't know if... I don't really know if this... Oh, interesting. What's going on here? Very odd. So if Spurs were so good in the transition, I think the way that City beat them is by getting that first goal and then just sitting back themselves. I think the big problem Spurs are going to have is what can they do against a team that decides to sit back and are defensively very, very solid. It's the kind of thing that Arsenal did to them both times. I think we played them last season and a couple of times before that as well, where we just decided, I think we went 1-0 up at Spurs and we decided just to sit back and stop them from scoring, and to be fair, we were very good at that. We went 1-0 down against Spurs, still came back and won that game 2-1. And so that was at the Emirates, and then in the previous two games we drew 2-2 at the Emirates, which should never have happened. If Jorginho doesn't give the ball away straight after we score, we probably go on to win that game. And at Spurs in 2024, I think we won that one 3-2. That was the game we were 3-0 up in and thrashing them, and then made two mistakes to let them back in the game. So in terms of, I think, Arsenal's matchup against Spurs, I don't think that changes a great deal. I just think I don't think they'll be quite as cavalier against us as they have been. but that shouldn't stop us really from scoring. But if anything, I think maybe taking a draw against Spurs these days isn't necessarily a bad thing, given it's a local rival. Man United take points off City all the time. Everton take points off Liverpool, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. My concern would be with Spurs: can they do it against your Bournemouths, your Brentfords, Leeds? Trying to think of other good defensive teams in the league. It's difficult to think of many other very good defensive teams in the league these days. They're not really all that strong. Anyway, there's the team. They've got the old picture of Declan Rice. I love it. He definitely doesn't look that young at all. He looks a lot older now. But I've heard a bit about Stack in the midfield for Leeds. He's pretty good. We know about Bogle. I think Goodmanson and Bogle are going to have a really tough game today, because the wingers for Arsenal should do very well against them if Arsenal can isolate them. And then Pirro is a new signing with Nonto and James. That's probably the threat that Arsenal are going to have to face today. Can they handle the transition going behind them? If they can do that, they're fine. But that's going to be the tricky bit. Just seeing what time we're on. Yeah. I'm assuming that live from N5 might... They might show coverage of Eze going on the pitch for Arsenal, possibly. But I'll have to keep an eye. Apparently, Eze's being announced on the pitch at 5 o'clock today. Which is... That's going to be so cool. I think the Eze signing is going to make things really interesting going forward. I think they probably need... Arsenal need a different kind of threat on the left at the moment. We've either got pace with Martinelli, a little bit of technique with Trossard, but kind of wants to be more inside. I think, if anything, actually, Eze's closest comparison is Trossard. The difference being, I think, that Eze is technically better than Trossard is. At least as far as I've seen, anyway. I have heard some people saying that Arsenal, Eze isn't quite as consistent as you would expect. And it's had parts in seasons where he's kind of drifted. He won't be allowed to do that at Arsenal. No chance. I think if he doesn't, and to be fair, we've got such competition on the left now that if he were to step off it, we've got someone else to step in and play there. So one other thing I have heard about with Arteta talking about the squad is... Oh, excuse me. Oh, so I'm yawning again. It's not even the end of the day yet. It's just talking. Is having the numbers to stave off an injury crisis. I think that's the biggest concern that Arteta's got. From last season, we had such bad injury concerns all the way through the season. I think there was very few players, you could say, managed to make it through the whole season without getting injured. I think Raya possibly, Saliba possibly. I think apart from that, I can't think of anyone else that managed to do it. Even Partey, I think, got injured a little bit in the middle of the season. Even Saka and Odegaard, who have usually been mainstays in this Arsenal team, weren't able to stay fit. So that's a big thing. But yeah, Eze is going to be announced in 25 minutes possibly. So it's about keeping an eye on Twitter as well, and I'm going to have to do. Arsenal women are playing against Spurs women, but I'm not sure what. Like, that's not a league game. I think that's just a friendly. So, um, but yeah, I think apart from that, there's not really much else. So that's 3-3 in that friendly, by the way. So it's pretty cool. As they confirmed to be number 10 at Arsenal, like we needed to. Oh, okay. So Arsenal have they have announced Eze. They will announce Eze at 5 o'clock, and it'll be presented on the pitch at 5:20. There's no point in watching that stream. Then absolutely no point. Absolutely no point. We're gonna get off that one for now. If anyone knows as well, is watching, how to change or why you can't change your logo on a YouTube profile, it's a bit odd. I'm trying to change it several times, not been able to work. But yeah, so far we'll just check the scores. I don't think I've heard any other goals. I'm listening to the radio at the moment, which is why I've got the headphones on. I won't actually be watching the game today because I don't have Sky. I'm not going to pay for that. It's just too much money. So a lot of the watchalongs are literally going to be me keeping up with the game and then talking about tactics and that kind of thing. So, but it is still 1-0, and Wolves are down to 10 men as well against Bournemouth, so tricky. It is interesting seeing how much home advantage is making a big difference today, apart from the City game. So, well, that's very good. Another thing I thought I'd mention today was about the consistency of how people bring up things online on when you're watching a game. The commentators are often quicker to point out something than VAR is, which is quite annoying, I think, considering VAR should be kind of looking at these things live as they happen. It's very, very frustrating to hear. It's like, oh, they should be sent off, and then you don't hear anything, and then they just move on, but with no confirmation of they've even looked at it. So there was a couple of moments where, to be fair, I think the one, I think it was Porro, it might have been Romero, who clipped the back of a. Oh no, it was a City player who clipped the back of a Spurs player as he was running into the box, and it wasn't brought up. There was a replay straight away, but then it wasn't brought up after that. And in the replay, in the end, it wasn't inside the penalty area. I called penalty straight away because I thought it was inside, but it wasn't. But it wasn't a red card. But it would have been nice to hear from the VAR that they'd looked at it and said no action necessary. But there was another challenge, I think, in the box, which you're almost certain should have been a penalty, and also the goalkeeper handling the ball outside the box in a challenge should have been a sending off straight away. Denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Don't understand why that wasn't given. I think City got away with a lot of decisions today. They could have potentially gotten some decisions go their way as well. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what, but it's frustrating, I think. But the communications is a big problem, I think. They just need to communicate better with the people and in the crowd. Because it's not just in the crowd, it's on the TV as well. It's like making sure, yes, we've seen that. Whereas there have been cases in the past where they've not seen something and it's been completely missed, and then they've said afterwards, oh yeah, we missed that. It's like, well, why bother then? Tottenham beating Arsenal 4-3 now. It's also worth bearing in mind as well. I do think that City and Chelsea and PSG are potentially going to struggle a bit more because of the way their pre-season's been a bit truncated because of the Club World Cup. And they did. Man City looked leggy today. They didn't look like they had. Admittedly, it might just be the kind of player they had, but I don't think they were necessarily set up very well for the end to end. And to be fair, like I don't think City ever really wanted to play like that. But even so, when they were called on to be aggressive, they couldn't do it. I do think a Man City who were more confident would probably have taken that on and won. Well, not necessarily won the game, but definitely would have gone further in challenging Spurs than they did today. It is also interesting looking at Spurs' future games. If we just have a look at these games, so yeah. Oh, it's not massively helpful. I'll just search. So their next games: Bournemouth at home next week, and then West Ham away, Brighton away, Wolves at home, Leeds away, Villa at home, Everton away. It's got to be said, like they're not playing any of those teams in the top 6 from last season. I don't think they are. I do remember looking at the fixture list from before, and thought, hey, if Spurs can consistently beat the lower teams, which to be fair was a problem for them last season, I think they probably could actually do very well up until the end of October. They're set because their next game, in the first game in November, is okay. That's when it gets harder. They've got Chelsea at home, United at home, Arsenal away, Fulham at home, Newcastle away, then Brentford at home, Forest away, Liverpool at home, Palace away. So it's that November-December period for Spurs, which is going to be really tough, I think. So we might end up in a situation where Spurs are kind of close to the top of the league after the first 10 games or so. What are we on? We've played 2 right now, so 2, 5, 7, 8, 9 games. I think that Tottenham-Chelsea game is going to be interesting because Tottenham are tactically quite well set up. Chelsea, much more attacking. And I would say they've got better attacking talent going forward than Spurs have. But whether Spurs can necessarily beat Chelsea with that better tactical setup, I'm not sure. So that is the thing. Let's go back to this. Yeah. Southampton are back 2-1 down now rather than 2-2. Wrexham have been brought back to 2-2 against Sheffield Wednesday. Gosh. I think Levante Barcelona is on Disney Plus tonight, so that I might potentially watch that if I can. Don't know if we'll do a watch along, but we'll definitely watch that game. Need to make sure I put a reminder in for that. What was it, 8:30 start? Yeah. Okay. Right. I might try the break function soon, just to kind of see just to see what happens with that. What time are we on now? 4:45. I'm going to see. What was it? Start break. I'm going to see what happens with this. I've no idea what's going to happen, but we're going to try it. Oh, okay. So you've got a 5 minute break. Oh, okay. So I'm going to take a 5 minute break and see what happens. There we go. Okay. So, there. That break was interesting. Um, so, I've managed to figure out how to get the X window on here. So I'm going to do that here, and then I think I'm just going to move you across like that for now. But that's the team. It's a little bit all over the place, but it's fine. So we've got Twitter up now, which this is kind of how we're going to follow this, because I don't think we're going to see much in terms of updates. What I am going to say is that this tweet here, I want you to keep your eyes on. So make sure you're in your seats by 5:15. So 5:15 is when they'll be announced on the pitch. But I think all the kind of social media, Twitter stuff will start happening about 5. And that's going to be what we're going to be doing here. Yeah, there's going to be joining Arsenal, which is fantastic. So very much looking forward to that. Scores haven't really changed much elsewhere. Apart from a goal for Burnley, which is a bit big, it's got to be said. When did they score that? I keep missing these Burnley goals. It does somewhat kind of throw. Was it 88? So, okay, it's not on here. Cool. Explains a lot. So yeah, so Burnley beating Sunderland. Everyone was saying last week Sunderland are going to be fantastic in the league this season. Apparently not. Which is a bit of a shame, I think, for them. But to make sure this camera isn't gonna just slide off during the stream. David Seaman ready. We'll just see if there's anyone else. I'm also following the Oxford game, and they're losing to Birmingham away, which is a shame. But Birmingham are probably one of the favourites for that league right now, for the championship. Well, not one of the favourites, but they're definitely, I think, tipped for like top 6. Oxford, if they avoid relegation, they've done really well this season. They're still in a kind of similar position to where they were at before. Yeah. Was there something else that I forgot to mention? No. Max Downman at 15 years old is in the Arsenal team. Well, they're in the Arsenal squad on the bench. Ridiculous. Like, can you imagine being 15 and playing for Arsenal? So if we end up in a position where we're several goals in front, I don't expect that to happen. I don't really think we're in that kind of position where we can say we can go and thrash a team like Leeds. And to be honest, actually, in recent history, when we've played Leeds in the league, even in the cup, it's been a close game, like close-ish. I think the only time I remember absolutely thrashing them was away, but that was during COVID, and I remember they had quite a few players out ill, and they were trying to get the game postponed, and the league weren't having any of it. Arsenal weren't either. I think I remember Saka scoring and Smith Rowe scoring, and it was a good game, that one. But that was the last game we played before the whole thing was shut down, I think. Second to last game, because I think during that time, that was the Christmas, I think. So I think that was the one where Tierney scored that goal where he cut on his inside and scored with his right foot. Fantastic goal. Not what I expected, though. And Brentford almost scored a second there, I think. Yeah. And Huddersfield have beaten Stevenage. That's a great result for them. Big result. Huddersfield looking to finish in the top, well, get promoted basically after getting relegated last season. I think it was last season, might have been the year before. The Huddersfield are now second, and everyone's played as well. So Huddersfield beating Stevenage up to second in the league. Cardiff, can't believe Cardiff are in League One. They've been a staple Championship team for years. But when you look at the rest of those teams, Lincoln might potentially be a problem. Wigan Athletic, ex-champion, ex-Premier League. Blackpool, ex-Premier League. Reading, ex-Premier League. The Reading lost, I think, today. Birmingham have beaten Oxford 1-0. It's a shame. Right, let's go back to this. So, just going to check. There's not a lot of teams who are. There's a lot of teams in the top half who haven't played yet. Sunderland will have played, they've lost. Chelsea up to second with their win yesterday. But apart from that, a lot of the other teams today, I suppose actually Brentford and Burnley. Yeah, it's not a particularly up-to-date table that they've got on their stream. If we look at the table, where is the table? Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, City. Yes, it's very interesting how the top of the table's kind of opened up a little bit. As an Arsenal fan, this is it's a little thing, but it's nice to see City losing today because I think they're always one of the teams that I'm concerned that could just go a whole year unbeaten. Probably not going to happen, especially not at the moment with the way they're playing. Bournemouth beat Wolves 1-0. Big win for Bournemouth. Good response to the Liverpool game. Don't think Bournemouth should be worried, really. Well, it's 4:59, so got probably a minute left before Eze's announcement on social media, possibly. Well, we might be wrong, but I should probably go and get a drink at some point before kickoff today. I'll get rid of that. Oh yeah, it's finished 1-0 to Bournemouth. As soon as you go down to 10 men in this league, it's very difficult to come back, I think, to not lose. Arsenal have confirmed the deal at 5 in the afternoon. 4 years with an additional option to extend by 1. Not sure whose option that is. But that looks like a prearranged article put together by Tom there. Completed and announced. And he's wearing number 10. Here we go. Right, well, there's a video as well, which I'm definitely going to be playing for you guys. Well, Right. Get rid of that. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Turn this off. And then I'm going to...
Rhetorical question.
Hang on.
A rhetorical question.
And
a question not intended.
This. That's what I need to check. Let's see. Oh, this isn't ideal. You're seeing like half of it. Let's see. Shall I just make another one? Can't duplicate it. I'll just add another one. Just give me a second, guys. I'm gonna screen capture X. And this one, I'm gonna get rid of that one. Oh, yes. I'll get rid of this one. And then this one, I'll just take off the filters. There we go. Oh, see, you know what? That would have been much easier. There you go. All right. And this one, you should be able to hear it. Right.
A rhetorical question.
Okay. This could be cool.
A question not intended to require an answer. Because some things don't need saying. Do you want to create? Do you want to excite? Do you want to raise levels? Raise hairs? Raise the roof? Do you want to write a legacy? Some things don't need saying, but we say them anyway. Do you want to realize those dreams? Do you want the Arsenal?
Obviously.
Let it all go. 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 Let it all go.
Welcome to the Arsenal.
Let it all go.
Wow. Fantastic. Really, really good video. Love it. Yeah. And now all that remains is to see him being announced on the pitch. That was a great video. Well done, Ian. Alright, we'll get you off. Turn you on. Now that thing needs to come on as well, so we're going to do that first. So, yeah, I mean, great signing. It's a fantastic signing for Arsenal. I think all the comparisons that have been going on around Eze and other players, forget that for a minute. It's not really about that. I think when you look at the way Arsenal's squad is set up, we did miss a little bit of that creativity on the left-hand side. And I remember watching Arsenal play last season and thinking, well, if we had as good a creative force on the left as we do on the right with Saka, we score loads of goals, because you can't leave, at the moment, you can't leave Saka on the right unprotected. You'd need two players to go mark him. If you have another double threat on the left now, and you've also got Gyökeres in the middle, who's as much of a threat as we know he is, it's yeah, a bit ridiculous. It's got to be said. And that makes us title challengers. I mean, we were already title challengers anyway, I believe, but this is now, if Arteta can mould the team in a way that makes it work and the team gel quick enough, then they'll be absolutely fine. So, Eze is Arsenal's new number 10. Arteta, his journey, his mentality, his ambition are exactly what we want in our team, and we love how much it means to him and his family to be joining our club. And Steve Parish comes out with some quotes as well, which is unusual. He epitomises everything good about the modern footballer. That's nice to see. Fantastic. With all of the stuff that goes on around a transfer, especially with the stuff around Isak and Wissa, and the bad feeling that often goes around stuff like this because players aren't getting their way, this kind of thing is amazing. And it's very unusual to see a player willingly go to another club and both clubs supporting him in that move. So, yes, obviously he won't be playing today. But I think there's a good chance that he might play for Arsenal against Liverpool. We will see. I think a lot of it depends on how well Madueke plays on the left today. If he plays well enough on the left today, is enough of a threat and brings end product, which is kind of what we need at Arsenal, then every chance, I think, we start with the same 11 as we did today. But that's a big if. It's got to be said. Now, I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be showing the Eze on the pitch thing at the moment. But we'll see. I'm going to keep the stream on the Arsenal website on my screen at least for now. But I'm not showing it. It'll be something that will be on Twitter eventually because Sky have got the game. So, yeah. So that'll be very interesting to see. I think eventually we do need to get rid of X for now, but we're not going to do that straight away because I want to just keep up to date and see if there's going to be any footage from X on Twitter. I don't know why do people bother? Why do people bother with the name change? A bit ridiculous. Heard some stuff with Tanaka and Stack in the midfield for Leeds, and it's a very, very nice midfield, and it looks like everything is kind of as expected for Leeds. Yeah, everything. I don't know about Gurev, but I'm assuming he played in the game last week. He didn't play in the game. Wait. This is from today's game. Yeah. And then I'm just going to keep an eye on the stream, the Arsenal.com stream, and we'll see what they do. I've got that. I've got the radio. I've got Radio 5 Live in my ears as well, so I'll be able to kind of report bits and pieces as we go. Yeah, Pep's talking about his team's defeat today. I think they just weren't really good enough in the transition a lot of the time. I've only been a bit of watching Arsenal play last week, to be fair. Those transition moments as well. Someone needs to fix Alan Shearer's microphone because it sounds awful. Sounds absolutely awful. Right, apparently we've got some new tweets. One more to go. I don't see Arsenal signing anyone else this summer. I think that's it. You can't. It's so difficult to insist that you buy another one after the amount of signings. We made 7 signings and we made barely any sales. So really, I think it'll be extremely last minute if it does happen, and it won't be anything big. It'll be probably a backup striker. but I can't see how that's going to make a massive difference in our season. Really, I think given the system that we play, would you be able to see a difference being? I'm trying to think of an example of a player. Oh, we're not getting Mateta. They'd be asking for money for him. And the problem is we just don't have the money to be able to do it. So I just don't see it. And to be honest, it's a good enough team, especially if Havertz isn't out for too long. Then it's definitely a good enough team for you to. I've just noticed actually, if we win and win well today, it'll almost certainly be Arsenal and Tottenham at the top of the league. Admittedly, I think Tottenham won 3-0 last week, so they've got a +5 goal difference, so we'll have to win by like 5 to go above them today. Yeah, I think I might be wrong. Yeah, we'd have to win by 5 to go above Spurs today. Not that it really matters. It's a long season, 38 games, and you've only played the first one today, last week, and second one today. So it's not really about that. But I think what we're looking for is an improvement in. It's definitely an improvement. Someone's just come into the stream. I have no idea who it is. But Arsenal will just want to come out. I think out of the next few games, you've got Liverpool, Forest, City, and Newcastle, I think, in the next few games. Yeah, Liverpool, Forest, City, Newcastle, West Ham, Fulham. So if we can come out at the end of the Newcastle game having only lost points in one game, so I'm including a draw or a loss in any of those games, I think done really well. I do think that means that we've got to win either at Liverpool or at Newcastle, which is tough. But definitely beat Forest at home, beat City at home. Thing is, Isak might be back playing for Newcastle by the time that game comes around, which is a little annoying, it's got to be said, considering Liverpool are going to play them without Isak on Monday. And that's quite frustrating, it's got to be said. Just going to see if... Let's see. FootMob have got it down as 54 million. Nah. Definitely not. It's definitely not that. It is also quite nice for us, for once, we're going to be able to announce a signing when it happens, like on a day, and we get to parade them on the pitch before a game. It's happened to us so often where we've gone to another stadium, they've paraded a player on the pitch, it's given the crowd a lift, and then they've played really well. And I'm thinking most of the game at Old Trafford. A couple of years ago, they announced Ronaldo, I think, on the day or something. Was it Ronaldo and Varane or something? I can't remember. Might be Casemiro and it was Casemiro and Varane. It wasn't exactly a great United team, and we thought we'd beat them at that time. I think we'd already finished second to. Oh no, we'd had a great start to the season, but we'd that was the year after we'd missed out on the Champions League, and we ended up losing to that Man United team very annoyingly through a couple of counter attacks. Basically, that's the only way we lost that game. So it looks like they're not really showing much. Doesn't look like there's much in the way of stuff going on. Anyhow. And then Burst has had some quotes as well. We are so pleased to have completed the deal to bring Eze to Arsenal. Eberechi is a creative and explosive talent with huge technical quality. Also a big game player, with his experience at international level also underlining his quality and character. There has been excellent teamwork across the club to make this transfer happen, and we're very confident that Eberechi will be an important addition to our squad as we continue to build for success. So it's got to be said, like, Berta has done a fantastic job in bringing in the incomings. There's no way that there's no way anyone can criticise what he's done in terms of incomings. I'd like to see better work on the outgoings, but I don't know how much you can really do with that. I'd like to know from other clubs, like, how do you make the sales happen? I think a lot of the time it just depends on the interest from other clubs, and if you get that, then great. So yeah, Ian Wright announcing the deal, well, announcing the transfer. Obviously, Ian Wright, ex Crystal Palace, who also moved from Crystal Palace to Arsenal at one point. So a fantastic signing. There was talk, I think, that Sol Campbell might be interested in trying to, or might be asked to help make the video because of the Tottenham comparisons, but I think Arsenal wanted to kind of steer clear of that because they want to make it a story about them, not have to talk about the fact that they basically stole it from Tottenham, which does make it all the funnier. But at the end of the day, Arsenal Football Club is Arsenal Football Club, not Arsenal because of Tottenham. It's definitely not the case, and Tottenham would say the same. I think that they're not, as much as they are somewhat obsessed with us. I think that's only because they're not successful themselves. As soon as they are, it makes it a lot easier for them to ignore us. Right. I may have to disappear at a moment's notice as well, by the way, because this isn't my house, so I might have to go and say hi to people at some point today. But if I do, I'll put on a holding thing and keep some stuff on the stream while we're at it. So it should be about now that they're announcing Eze, or at least on the pitch. They're putting him on the pitch, I believe. Yeah. It is a shame that Eze can't play today, because I think today's game would actually probably have been a game we would really have enjoyed. But hey, I think Madueke is also very good as well. I think he'll do a good job on the left hand side. It does mean that Madueke, if if Eze ends up putting Arsenal, if Eze ends up putting, I think they might be showing us the footage from the Emirates pitch, possibly. Oh no, are they doing it? Oh, they're doing it. Are they doing it? They're showing us the crowd, which is interesting. They're waiting for Eze to come out onto the pitch. Here he is. Fantastic. Brilliant. I'm gonna. It is quite unique. A player coming out before a game, being able to announce himself to the crowd. It's not something that happens at Arsenal very often, because often all of our signings happen like July, and we're not at the Emirates at that time. Yeah, they're saying that on the stream right now. It's like it's fantastic to see. He looks so happy. He looks so happy. You can't help but smile. He's going to be one of those, very similar to Saka. Someone playing. Someone playing a piano. Reminds me of the Arsenal pianist, so maybe I should be going to playing over there. Fantastic. That's and he's just greeting the Arsenal players. He's greeting all the Arsenal players as they go out onto the pitch, all the subs walking out, and then greeting the Arsenal players as they go in. As he goes in, I don't know. You're seeing lots of mascots there, but not seeing anyone else. Yeah, it's just fantastic. And now we get ready for the game. Come on, Arsenal. That would be disappointing. I'm not going to get to watch this live, but I don't think I necessarily need to. Be able to keep up with commentary in the game. So what I'll be doing is just kind of talking about the game, looking at the tactics. What I'm going to be doing, in fact, is where are we? So the commentary. Oh, we're not going to see it yet, but when the play-by-play comes up, well, that's what we'll put on the. That's what we'll put on the stream. We'll be taking X down as well. Not taking it down, but you know what I mean. You'll be seeing it. It's got he's one of our own, Sean. Very good. Fantastic. Look at that. Look at that. They were playing the music from the video as well, but I don't know. It didn't look like it was live, so I think it's just playing it over the speakers. But yeah, good atmosphere. Definitely quite special. First time game of the season. Really looking forward to seeing how Eze plays, but it looks. I would argue it might be more likely we don't really see him until probably after the September international break, which is a shame. But let's be fair, like he's only just joined. He has played, to be fair, for Palace since the start of the season, so it's not like he's not had a pre-season. So he is ready to play, but I just don't think. I don't know whether him playing in the team against Liverpool is necessarily going to be a good idea. Depends It depends. I mean, he is a big game player, but I don't remember him necessarily having a lot of success at Liverpool in his time at Palace. So, correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Oh, they're actually showing a little bit at the beginning of the announcements. Gyökeres first home competitive debut. A big yeah, really big. Right, let me just change a couple of things on here. So we're going to turn off that. We're going to move you across. And then we're going to put you... Where are we going to put you? Yeah, so they've stopped that. That's fine. Good. Right. So I'm going to do that. Leave that as is for now. No need to change that. I think that's it from what I remember. It'll be interesting to see how. I mean, if Leeds do come at us in a way that's like cavalier, it could end up being a cricket score. Like, honestly, I think we are so good at taking advantage of teams that come at us. So I don't think that's necessarily going to be a concern. It's if they decide to do a mid block or something like that, that might end up being a bit more of a problem. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to do? I don't think there is. Yeah, no. I think we're good. So, what I'll be honest, we should be kicking off very soon, I would have thought. I'm going to keep X on the left. Oh, that's actually much better. Oh, some lovely little photos of Eze on the pitch. Fantastic. Really good. Don't know how I'm going to organise my screen. I'm operating off of one screen today. Normally I'd be operating off two if I've got my home set up, but I'm not at home at the moment. So we're going to have to just go with it, hope for the best, and hope that my screen has enough battery. It's got 64%. I think we'll be all right. But the game should be kicking off any minute now. Let's see. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So we need... Everything's just that little bit delayed. Interesting. It is 5:30 now, so it should be starting. But it might be a slightly delayed because of the Eze announcement, possibly. Game. Well, okay, the game started on my radio, so that's a start, at least. hopefully score in the first minute, but don't do a Bournemouth and concede in the first minute. That'd be ideal. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. Maybe if I do this and then just do that. There we go. There we go. Looks like Arsenal just keeping the ball in the midfield at the moment, which is nice. It's going to be a bit of a pain trying to refresh with a mouse on this. If you've ever used the X app on a computer, it's like click, drag, click, drag, click, drag to refresh. It's a bit ridiculous. No, we did, I think, was that a pass from Madueke? I don't know, but it looked like it's gone out. So oh, okay. So it was a ball into the near post for them, for Arsenal. So yeah, looks like we made a good attacking start, which is nice. Not getting anything from Twitter, which is unusual for a start. No one's actually said anything. Not even kicked off or anything like that. And Dan James has the ball on the right. It's a Leeds throw. I think it'll be interesting to see how this works going forward. Arsenal have got the ball back. That's good. It's going to be more difficult to follow the game on a play-by-play thing when Arsenal play with this kind of quick counter-attacking style, because in a second we could go from back to front and score. So Gyökeres has made a pass. There you go. It's not bad. Oh, I think did Odegaard try a touch from try a shot from quite a distance there. Odegaard again. Odegaard popping up on the left-hand side, which is interesting. He usually gets the ball on the right-hand side. Very interesting. It's like, yeah, no one's tweeting anything. It's just too focused on the game. A bit ridiculous. I'm intrigued to see how they actually managed to do this play-by-play thing as well. It's very cool, but it's kind of odd that they could even do this. And Saka's got the ball. Well tackled, Goodmanson. Potentially a foul. I don't know whether that's just stopped because it's a foul that has gone out of play. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's a free kick to Arsenal, that's what it was. Declan Rice playing out wide, not shooting or putting it in the box. Saka. Interesting. Okay. Does look like it's Arsenal kind of penning Leeds in a bit, which is kind of what we expected. I think it's one of those where it's just going to have to probe. We're going to have to look around for chances and try and create. Be patient, but play a bit of. It's a goal kick to Leeds. It does need that urgency. I remember watching Arsenal playing 3 years ago. We had that great season challenging City for the league, and every time we played at home, we're just like all out, completely full energy. First 15 minutes. So Leeds have decided to play short out of the back. Interesting. Supermandy getting in the way of that. Yeah, it's definitely not been a case where Bogle's got booked already. That's concerning. He's getting booked already. Arsenal needs to take advantage of that, definitely. Yeah. That's bad news for Bogle because he's got a long time to play against Madueke now. And this is another thing I do really like about the Eze move. It's like you look at Eze in one-on-one situations, he often challenges opponents to try and tackle him, and then he'll knock it around them or do a quick little jink. He's very, very good at that. Free kick. It's gone out for a throw. Going backwards from the throw, which is a shame. Raya with the ball out. Is Saka going to get that? He is. Is that a shot? That's a pass. Gone out of play, presumably. Yeah, it's not going to be a goal. Yeah, so it was Saka who was arriving there to get the ball and he couldn't get there. Arsenal are dominating this game. It's got to be said. So the dominating Leeds can't get out at the moment, and that's a concern for Leeds. I think they'll need survive, really kind of survive the first 20 minutes or so. If they can do that, they'll be in a better chance of getting a point here. Dan James with the shots. Leeds passing it backwards all the way through there. And then Raya picking it up. It was a really good pass from Raya, that right out to the right-hand side to Saka. And that's the kind of thing we'll need to do more often to try and break the lines a bit. It's the kind of thing we've done before, to be fair, but I think against these kind of teams, catching them out when they're trying to press up is going to be something I think Arsenal really want to be doing more often. Apparently people saying it should be a penalty to Arsenal. But I don't know. So Arsenal just trying to play it out from the back. Played 15 minutes so far, and we've only really made possibly one good chance. It's Madueke just progressing the ball forwards, but looks like they're giving it away there. It's got a bit congested there. It's a very competitive midfield, it's got to be said. Now, since those first 10 minutes or so where Arsenal seemed to dominate, I think Leeds were a little bit wary of conceding an early goal. So Arsenal throw. I just want to see the... let's see. So, don't know if that just disappears when I go off the screen. I hope not. Because I just want to have a look at some stats. There you go. Yeah. So we've got a good, better XG, better possession. It's not bad. Let's see. Or Gabriel with a header that he missed. It's a shame. Definitely going to need to get a drink at half time. So I've run out of it. Yeah. Or did Gyökeres just take a shot from inside the box and charging it down? Surely not. What have they done here? Have they scored? Oh, no. Gyökeres has missed. What a shame. I mean, I remember actually Arsenal scoring a goal just like that against Leeds when I think Nketiah charged down the goalkeeper and scored. So it's the kind of thing that they are prone to doing. Shame Gyökeres couldn't. It's giving it out to Madueke, presumably. Yeah. Rice. No, I'm having to put up with the commentary from the BBC, which is often quite biased against Arsenal, you tend to find. Looks like we're giving the ball away there from a throw. Or from a pass to give them a throw. It's often biased against Arsenal, which is quite frustrating to listen to, but it's the only one I can really use that's not ridiculously behind, which will almost be the case all the time when you're using the Arsenal streams and that. Odegaard. That Leeds throwing. Oh. Yeah, I've just seen the little bit there. It's interesting how much the ball is going to that left-hand side. Saka's had a bit on the right-hand side, but he's not been as dominant as he's been before when we've played. It's like a free kick to Leeds inside the Arsenal half. But we're usually very right-hand dominant, but looking at the attacks and the way we're playing at the moment, we're quite kind of balanced on both sides, left-hand and right-hand side, which is really good. It'll definitely help, I think, with the unpredictability, which is what we need a little bit. Scott McTominay's scored a goal for Napoli. Oh, I think it's a corner to Leeds and Raya's made the save. Hopefully they haven't scored, because that would be awkward. Yeah, good save by Raya, that. Gyökeres with a clearance in that second corner. So presumably we gave away a corner, but now Gyökeres could potentially get the ball on the counter. Yeah, no. It is worth saying, like, a lot of Arsenal's speed in the transition. Leeds have also got a lot of speed in transition as well, so I wouldn't necessarily expect Arsenal to rip them apart in that sense. don't really want to be relying on saves from Raya in a game like this, but if you do have to, then you've got to do it. Because I feel like the first goal in a game like this is massive. It's really important, I think. What are we, like 20 minutes in? Should be goalkeepers, that. Nothing happening. Yeah, Raya's just taking a minute, I think, after that. Had a collision with the goalkeeper, with Nonto. It's sometimes annoying watching Arsenal play these days. Because like, I suppose it's just watching Arsenal play in general. Unless I'm actually able to watch the game and kind of look at the tactics and how it's working, I don't think it's necessarily that easy to analyse. But playing a lot of the ball in the back, Saliba, Gyökeres looks like he received it. He did get a throw in, that's good. That's one of the things I think Gyökeres does offer, is that quick ball in behind, or at least up to Gyökeres, and he can hold it up, and that can progress the ball up the pitch and prevent us from being stuck. Which was sometimes happening when we were playing with Havertz and Jesus. As much as Jesus is actually surprisingly strong for how short he is. Another Leeds throw-in. They're getting all the throw-ins at the moment. Very annoying. Gyökeres. Oh. It's a shame. There's a Rice, that's Saka. It's Erdegaard. Header. Ugh. It's a chance, that. This is the one thing I do think, like, if you do play Eze on the left, he can cut in on his right and shoot, whereas Madueke really only has one option of going on the outside. Not to say that Eze couldn't. I don't know whether it's necessarily worth. I think you really ought to be going for Gyökeres on that kind of ball. Really, the ball floated into the box. I don't think it necessarily works with Madueke heading the ball like that. Leeds taking a long time over this goal kick. Oh, got a free kick presumably. Saka, giving the ball away there. It's a shame. Battery's doing fine. There's a lot of like little passes. It's kind of trying to figure out a way around the Arsenal press. It's likely, yeah, there you go. Likely to give the ball away. That's one thing Arsenal have been really good at so far in this game is, oh, someone's got injured. That's not good. Please not be Arsenal player. Please don't be an Arsenal player. Had a whole season of Arsenal players being injured. Oh no. Odegaard. Well, Maneri then, I suppose. This is why we've got the big squad. That's annoying. I'm noticing that my camera's just slowly sliding down, which isn't great, so that's going to have to come down there. There we go. Yeah, they're not putting Max Damon on. No chance they're putting Max Damon on at this point. Maybe later. Looks like they've carried on with the game, which is good. But, oh man. I just think if we end up Odegaard's carrying on. Oh, it's with his shoulder. Yeah. That's a shame. I don't know whether if it's a shoulder injury, you could probably play through that and it's fine. I can't imagine. I don't know how bad that could go. Like, yeah, it probably isn't that bad. If it was a leg injury, a leg related injury, knee, thigh, hamstring, it could be anything like that. That's fine. But if it's any of that, then that you take the player off straight away. With that, looks like that's gone out of play straight away from Calafiori. Yeah. So Arsenal could probably go for it for these last 15 minutes now. They've had a bit of a break. I think just up the ante a little bit and just kind of go for it a bit more. Mad away, Kate. Well, I've given the ball away there. It's annoying. We'll probably go over the stats and everything and how things. It is worth noting, I think we've been a bit more effective going off the right-hand side than we have off the left. Saka, no, and then it gives the ball away, of course. Timber. Going backwards there, though. It's a bit of a shame. And then give the ball away. Oh, Saka. That away, okay. Let's get into the byline a lot, which is good. And then give the ball away. And then get it back. What happened there? It's when the crazy stuff goes on. That's when it's probably not gone in that. Yeah. No. Arsenal corner. We know what happens from these often. Scored from our first corner at Old Trafford. And it's a goal for Timber. It's just, oh dear. I literally just said, you know what happens from these? You just don't look threatening from the whole open play stuff, and then as soon as you get a corner, suddenly goal. Crazy. Just so it's just so ridiculous. Like, how can you look so inefficient, ineffective in your open play, and then suddenly, as soon as you get a corner, you get a goal? Like, this is like as good as it is. Like, every time we score from a corner, I'm like, cool, but let's try and get some other guy. And to be fair, I think Arteta has got it spot on. Sometimes these goals from corners can be just so difference making than set pieces, not just corners, just set pieces in general, free kicks, corners, throw-ins. Like, these are kind of things you can practice and get really good. The Stoke memes are ridiculous. But it unlocks the game, because then Leeds have to come out. Arsenal can then play in behind them. Hopefully play a bit more of a transitional game. It's like, I don't necessarily mind that, but I think when you watch teams like Barcelona play, for example, and PSG, they are threatening from open play so much. It's very difficult. Like, Arsenal found it very, very difficult to live with PSG at some times. Although, to be fair, I think we were the better team a lot of the time. And to be fair, it's another call. Oh, it's thrown to Arsenal. To be fair, Arsenal, like, I don't really think the Stoke memes are necessarily justified, because Stoke's good thing was actually the throw-ins. It wasn't actually the corners. If you look at the count of goals from corners, it's not that much compared to the throw-ins. I think it's just people being a bit jelly. The fact that we can score from corners all the time, basically at will. Like it is crazy how that happens. Absolutely crazy. By the way, Kate. Oh, no. Perry's got the ball out. It's a very, very good squad that Arsenal got as well. There's I think people have been putting together things like squad plans of 2 players in each position, and I think this is why I'm not as concerned about if Odegaard were to come off. I think the biggest thing that would suffer in our game right now if Odegaard went off would actually be our pressing and the aggression of our pressing, because he often leads that. So I don't know. I think you kind of need someone else to be able to do more with that. Nice to see Calafiori being able to do some stuff. What do you pass David Raya? That was weird. They were saying that David Raya was making a pass inside the Leeds penalty area, which is very strange. Odegaard's coming off, yeah. It's only got about 8 minutes left, but it must be just a bit too much. Again, I don't necessarily mind from a ball playing point of view when I'm coming on. And my concern is that we actually lose a little bit of aggression and structure in terms of the press. And against a team like Leeds, that could be a problem, but we'll see. But it is only a shoulder injury, so as far as recovering, yeah, as far as I can actually see the goal here, to be fair, which is quite nice. Let's see. Oh, it's just, yeah. It was, so what happened there was, it was just that little bit too high for a lot of people in the box, so it ends up kind of floating in and then flicking off of Timber, I think, and then going into the back of the net from there. But whoever was at the front post for Leeds, they weren't ever getting there. It was just, it's another really good delivery, it's got to be said. Like, the as much as Arsenal are kind of made fun of a little bit by the fact that they score goals from corners, but the delivery is just so perfect. Like when Declan Rice takes them, they're really, really good. He's been so consistent with that this season. That's such a weapon as well. Like when you can say you're going to be winning games because you've got a guy who can score corners and you can basically lock down the rest of the game and make sure nothing else happens. You're going to win a lot of games that way. It might not necessarily be entertaining, which is the problem I've had with Arsenal in the last year and a half or so. Our reliance on set pieces has made us less entertaining to watch compared to the previous year and a half, where I think we were very attacking, almost too attacking. And yeah, I suppose hopefully this isn't a goal. Put it in the box, but nothing's happened. Looks like Gyökeres has cleared it. Fantastic. Run after your own clearance. The other thing as well, from a set piece point of view, Gyökeres is a taller player than Havertz and a more aggressive player, so he will get to headers. I would be slightly disappointed if Gyökeres. Ah. Madueke got that clearance and managed to get past and then ended up fouling the player. Just a shame. Also, it's worth mentioning, I'm listening to the 5 Live commentary. They've got a flipping Spurs player on co-coms. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. It's just like, why? At least get someone who's maybe potentially a little neutral. Not a Spurs, an ex-Spurs player. Ridiculous. But I mean, the Eze thing kind of established not many people like Arsenal, so fair enough. Take it as you will. Need to be really, I would say, at least 1-0 up by half time. If we can make sure we're 2-0 up by 60 minutes, that would be great, because then I think things get a bit more chill. Arsenal can't, I don't think they can necessarily afford to sit back in a game like this. Need to be putting pressure on the opposition as much as possible. And it's the, yeah, so they just brought up the draws stat, 14 draws last season. Like, that's the kind of thing that I think, funnily enough, actually, when we went unbeaten, we drew a lot of games. But these days, you can't afford to do that and still win the league. Like, someone will almost certainly win too many games for you to be able to keep up with them. One thing I'm noticing is Zubimendi's getting on the ball a lot in the midfield, which is great. And that's a good sign, because he is basically become our conductor, as it were. Be interesting to see what happens, and Nwaneri's getting involved as well in that midfield. What happens with our play? There'll be presumably someone making runs a bit further out than where the ball's currently being passed around in the midfield. And then Saliba's made the progressive pass, but then Nwaneri loses it. So bit of a problem, that. Talking about tactical flexibility on the with regard to Nwaneri, if you're not aware, Nwaneri is actually more of a cam. It's more of an attacking midfielder than he is a winger. So Arsenal have played as a winger. After Arsenal played him as a winger in the past, but I think we need, although he actually prefers it in the middle of the pitch. One thing I would say is I don't know if he'll necessarily. It'll be interesting to see how he works well with Saka on the right hand side. And Nwaneri getting the ball there as he made the pass. Yeah, so Nwaneri came on with the Brentford in the Brentford game away. It's around the time when the Queen died, I believe. Saka got the ball. It's mainly Saka and Timber on that right hand side. It does look like Zubimendi's kind of more biased to the right hand side now, which is interesting. Nwaneri. Does he lose it? Yeah. And then Zubimendi gets it back. It's 2-0 and Saka scores. Fantastic. It looked like the ball was kind of going around that midfield, and then suddenly you put the ball in. Yes. 2-0 with the right foot. Saka likes scoring against Leeds. He really enjoys scoring against Leeds. There you go. There's the 2-0 lead before 60 minutes. That's what we were after. Right, we need 3 more now. Go top of the league. Fantastic. But Arsenal, I think he scored a goal. It was away at Leeds, and it was a really tough game. I remember this is a couple of years ago. He gets the ball on the right hand side, jinks past the fullback, and then just unleashes a shot with his right foot, and it just goes with arrows in the top corner. It's a fantastic goal. Yeah, it sounds a lot like that goal actually. I'm listening to them describing the goal. It sounds an awful lot like that goal. Looks like we're getting that. Gabriel is all the way up on that left wing, which is interesting. But it's about usually getting that first goal with a set piece. That's great. Then getting lots more goals. I think being able to put this game to bed. Go 3-0 up. If we can go 3-0 up early in the second half, I think that'll put the game to bed. Which would be perfect, I think. And Saliba's definitely taking that central role. Gabriel going off to the left. Timber kind of going off to the right. And joining Saka on the right-hand side. It is half-time. There you go. 2-0 Arsenal already. Fantastic. I think that late Saka goal definitely helped things. 70th goal for Saka as an Arsenal player. Jurriën Timber's done fantastic well. Guess who I've got in my fantasy team? I think I've got Saka in my fantasy team, so that's good. One speck of good news in amongst a torrent of terrible news as far as my fantasy team's concerned. Right, I'm going to go and get a drink. I will be back very soon. And I'll see you then. Right, hello. Not that one. There we go. Right. So Arsenal 2-0 up. Let's see. So I can probably, let's see. You know what? I'm seeing that goal again. Hang on. So just played in behind. Oh my days. I mean, I don't know about the goalkeeper there. Gotta say, I think it's just hit with power by Saka. But that's it. It is a bit of a terrible goalkeeping attempt. And Rice plays the ball in behind is it Timber? I think it's Timber plays the ball in behind the defender on the right hand side. Saka yeah, it's just brilliant finish. Brilliant finish. And like once again, Saka scoring on the first home game of the season. He does it quite a lot. For Arsenal, it's got to be said. Right, we're gonna have a quick look at the stats then. So we've had a lot more shots. I think Leeds' one good chance was this one, I think, which was the Strauch header. Yeah. And the other two were just shots which are blocked. So these two, Timber header and a Saka goal, quite wide as well. Actually, I just every time I see that, I think there's no way that should go in. But there you go. It's just goalkeepers not expecting anything there. Why is the play-by-play still going? It's half time. So what are we on? 64% possession as expected. What I'd like to see is a heat map. But I don't know how much of that I can actually see. Don't think you can see a lot. Yeah, no. Zubimendi, as expected, has kind of led a lot of the passing and kept the ball moving a lot. But there's not really much in the way of that. 2 shots on target, 2 big chances, 2 goals. It's very efficient from Arsenal, if nothing else. It's very efficient. I do think there is a little bit more to be seen in terms of the way that the teams worked from a so in terms of the way the teams were shaped. But I think Arsenal, in the end, when we look at this, like they dominated so much in this game. And I think it's telling that like Ødegaard getting injured happened about here, I think. So I might be wrong there, to be fair. Let me just check what time it was that Ødegaard went off there. 38 minutes, but we'd already scored, yeah. So 38 minutes, Ødegaard goes off, and I think our play just got a little bit less trying to find out where the weird. There we go. Yeah, so it was about 38th minute, and then things just started to get a bit out of hand at that point. And then we get the second goal. Really good. Fantastic. Been streaming for 2 hours. Definitely going to stop after the end of this game. Definitely. But I have got a drink. So I'll be doing this. I'm hoping to do something like this for a lot of the season. It would be nice to be able to watch a lot of these games, but I just don't like at the moment. Just context. I am in the process of moving house. There's a lot of money involved in that. I'm trying to save as much as I can. So I just can't really. Oh. Encoding overloaded. Okay. Looked like it was fine, to be fair. Yeah. Looks like we're fine. Yeah, looks like we're fine. Yeah, there's no issues there. But it should be pretty straightforward. A win for Arsenal now, I'd say. Well, just keep the game controlled. Again, if we're able to score a couple more goals, get Gyökeres on the score sheet, it'll definitely help. But it looks like he's kind of playing a. In fact, that's probably something that'll be worth looking at. Can we select a certain player? So he's had one shot, which was the chance where he charged down the player, which is a high XG chance as well. It's a 0.45. That's a pretty good chance, that. 12 touches. And I think defensive contributions and recoveries. He's been more valuable defensively than he has been offensively, really. He's had a few touches, but he's not necessarily. But I do think a lot of what Gyökeres gives to the team is... I don't think it's necessarily visible by the way we're watching the game, I think, at the moment. It's definitely not visible by that. If you're expecting Gyökeres to turn up and score 5 goals every game, it's just not going to happen. Especially with the way Arteta plays and likes to measure things and make sure that when the ball goes in, it's not just Hail Mary. It's got a thing. But I do think in this second half, things will change. There will be more of a threat on the counter. Leeds are inevitably going to come out and try and challenge Arsenal, but I think Gyökeres will be on that, be ready to go in behind when the chance comes. So, and I'm hoping this will end up going on YouTube as a, whatever you call it, as a VOD, but I don't know. It doesn't really seem like there's a way to do that, at least not on here anyway. Interesting. Yeah, odd. And there was talk of Timber coming off in the second half. Whether that still happens now that he's scored, and he seems to be playing quite well, to be fair. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Timber looks like man of the match so far, which is fair. It'd be good for my fantasy team to get a clean sheet, because Raya's in my fantasy team at the moment. Although I do have a bit of a problem because Eze is a Arsenal player now, and he's also in my fantasy team, but I've already got 3 Arsenal players in there, so I don't know how that works. Yeah, it's just a very, very good performance from, well, actually his tackles are early. It's only one of 3 tackles, to be fair. Made 4 defensive contributions. Aerial duels won 2 out of 2, which isn't bad. I suppose one of them was the goal. So expected goals on target. Don't know what that means. It's won the most duels in the match. There you go. In a match which is often like based on duels, like Arsenal Leeds at the moment is very much based on duels. How long have we got till second half? 2 minutes. But it's yeah. I'll just leave this on there for now. So yeah, 7 shots to 3, 2 shots to 1, 2 shots on target to 1, 1 corner to 2. But Arsenal scored from their corner, and it's one of those things you just don't allow Arsenal to get corner. We only got 1 corner. We did only get 1 corner, yeah. Interesting. It was like we did dominate so much, but I think we could probably be a bit more penetrative with our passing. But kind of not throw it in the mixer, but like given the amount of crosses that we were so used to watching Arsenal play in the box, I suppose Arteta's thinking is that he doesn't want to allow Leeds the option to be able to play on the counter as much. And therefore being more conservative in your build-up play stops Leeds from being able to chuck balls in behind you when they get ball back from a cross. So but that does kind of go against a little bit of what Arteta was telling us before. That he wanted Arsenal to be a bit more on the front foot and be able to play on the counter. It doesn't necessarily make as much sense, that. But we'll see. I'm seeing what Twitter is talking about here. Oh, I'll say that. It's not actually... Nothing's being loaded, which is fun. Oh, there you go. Just seeing that someone's saying someone should tell Odegaard and Area there's no assassin behind Gyökeres when we have the ball. Right, looks like we're starting the second half. Arsenal kicking off. Oh, they don't change the sides. Interesting. Oh, they were getting out early, so they're just saying, "Where is everyone?" In the stands. It's because they've been sat in their seats for an hour, first waiting for Eze and then watching the match. Now they're going off getting their drinks and whatever. It's got a very odd picture on that notification. Right, so 2-0. Look like I think we want Arsenal to get another goal if we can. The header from Gabriel goes the wrong direction. It's weird. It's again, if he gets this, Saka. Oh, he does. Fury. Maybe a throw. It's the second time where that ball has been Raya's been able to play that long ball into Saka on the right hand side. He's been free quite a lot, and I do think that's a little bit to do with the additional threat from Madueke and Gyökeres down the middle. That means that you can't necessarily just put two men on Saka, and then I mean I'll be interested to watch this back and kind of see how this works. But Arsenal do seem to have somewhat dominated this, especially since we scored the first goal. I think that's definitely unlocked the game as I thought it would. I think I think we need to get Gyökeres a goal, don't we? Really get him off the Gyökeres scored. There you go. I literally just said. 3-0 Arsenal. Fantastic. There we go. So he gets the ball on the left and actually dribbles inside. Fantastic. Great finish. I'm looking forward to seeing this one because it looks like he gets the ball on the left and beats a man and then scores. That's really, really good. I was literally just saying before the goal as well. I was like, I'd love to see Gyökeres get a goal because he needs his confidence. And we've got Liverpool next week. If we get things, and if they get a bit of a beating off of Newcastle next week on Monday, it sets up really nicely for Anfield. And both our title rivals losing this weekend would be really good. As far as so he just kicked that right to our goalkeeper. He has, Bit ridiculous. Right, there you go. 3-0 before half time. This is where you bring on Max Dowman on for Saka. Can you imagine? Oh dear. All right, clean sheet. I've got Gyökeres captain as well, by the way. So that is, it's actually turning out to be a pretty good weekend fantasy football wise because I already had João Pedro who got a goal and assist, yeah. So Saka, looks like, yeah, just blocked. There's a chance for Calafiori. Gets forward so much, it's ridiculous. There's a ball just put in behind for Saka. He passes off to. You'd think it would be Gyökeres who'd be there with him, but no, apparently not. Someone's down. Ah, Saka's injured. Seriously? I mean, to be fair, it's an easy fix. Madueke on the right, Martinelli or Trossard on the left. It is an easy fix, but you can't. It's just 2 injuries in the first home game of the season. And to be fair, Saka's looked like he's been injured multiple times in his career, and he's not actually been injured, or at least he's soldiered on. It's fine. Um, yeah, Trossard on for Saka. Don't mind that. Right, with 3-0 up, there's no need to make a risk at this point. Give some players some minutes. But it just happens so much. It's really annoying. Like the amount of times we play, and this might just be a consequence of us playing the same team for so long now, the same 11. Trossard coming on, so presumably Trossard goes to the left. Madueke on the right. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. Right, let's see this Gyökeres goal. So he just gets the ball just lobbed into the fullback position. He gets it, comes inside, still coming inside, and then shoots and scores. Wow. I mean, it's it's not his best goal, but it's a goal. That's fine. I don't mind that. He just comes inside the fullback, and he has no idea what he's doing. The fullback, he's literally just like, "Oh, I'll just play him there." It's just, yeah. Comes inside, no one gets close enough to him, and he shoots and scores. And it kind of bobbles in the net, but it's a goal. It's a great goal. It's a big goal for him, I think, because that's the kind of thing that you need. It's definitely the thing that you need. It's worth mentioning that Trossard coming on for Martinelli is like, it doesn't really say a lot for Martinelli. Oh dear, yeah, Saka's gone down the tunnel for treatment as well. It's not great, that, but I think Madueke with the ball in the box. I would expect Trossard does Gyökeres to. There we go. There's a chance. Non-toe. And they're just passing the ball inside their own box. That is ridiculous. Don't do that. Timber gets the ball. Just fighting for it all the time. Oh, Nwaneri. Oh. It's definitely annoying to see players go off, but it's nice to see we've got good players. Oh, Timber's header from the corner block. He could have had 2 goals. No, never mind. He scored. It's just not updated, but it is a goal to Arsenal. 3-0 Arsenal. 4-0, sorry. 4-0. We're on for 5. We're on for top of the table. We're on for top of the table. I think technically we might actually be top already now. I think, because of alphabetical order. crazy. I'm just hoping the Saka's fine. I think that I suppose the good thing about getting injuries at this stage of the season is that it's only like we've only got one more game till the international break. There's only 3 weeks until we start getting into the season proper, middle of September. So it's not as big a deal as if we had him injured in September or whatever. Whoever has Timber in their fantasy team, by the way, absolute madman. Fantastic. But this will be fun to watch on the highlights, that's for sure. A 4-0 win. Let's just check the table actually while we're there. That's a TBD. Yeah. Let's see, table. So for 4-0 up, we've got the same goal difference. For some reason, we're not ahead of Tottenham yet. I think we would be if you're going for oh, it's a hamstring potential. Oh, that's that he indicated a hamstring injury. I would say there's been a lot of negative stuff going around VAR already, only 2 weeks in, and that's concerning with the big games that are coming. We will be playing Liverpool next week. If that goes down to VAR and something goes wrong there, it's not great for these games. They're massive, massive games, and you bring in VAR specifically for this reason. Like the game is being supported by video technology. But if the video technology makes mistakes because the people operating it aren't looking at the right thing, that's scandalous. Like you've got to at least look at the right things there. Someone needs to be able to manage that and say, this is what you should be looking at in this situation, this is what you should be looking at here. Kevin De Bruyne has scored for Napoli. I do think Man City probably missed Kevin De Bruyne tonight. This afternoon. I think that if that's a hamstring injury, I would probably say that's him out of the England internationals. Potentially 3 weeks out at least, possibly 4. Does mean he's out of the Liverpool game, which is a very annoying, because I think he is, especially with Liverpool missing a right back at the moment. They're going to be probably playing Joe Gomez there. I think that's a shame, but this is where I think in previous years losing Saka would have been a massive problem, because we'd have to play someone who doesn't have an inverted. We'd be restricted to no inverted winger on that right hand side, whereas now we've got Eze on the left. We've got Madueke on the right. We've got potentially Trossard or Martinelli to also play on the left. Oh, Trossard misses. It's a block. And the miss. Calafiori. Again, Madueke has actually been really good. What? Gyökeres pass? Has he just charged down the another? Max Dowman's coming on. No way. Wow. I called it before, but I didn't think when Saka went off, I was like, okay. Max Delman coming on. I mean, the game is won. The game is absolutely what? How long have we got left? We've got half an hour. Like, it's a long time. It's almost like Leeds are down to 10 men. Gyökeres with a header. Oh no. Headed pass. Leeds on the counter here could be a threat. Could definitely be a threat. Oh, well played, Gabriel. What on earth happens here? Oh dear, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So presumably that's for Madueke then. Yeah, Madueke coming off for Max Damon. And Calafiori off for Lewis Skelly. I think it is interesting. I think in the same situation last season, I don't think Arteta makes this many changes. I think he probably makes less. But in this situation, we are 4-0 up, admittedly, and we weren't often 4-0 up last season. Timber's coming off for Mosquera as well. Okay, right. Okay, so he's slightly older than Nineri. It's Max Diamond. This is a much changed Arsenal team now. You've got Lewis Skelly on the left, Lewis Skelly left back, Mosquera right back, Dalman right wing. Who else came off? Oh, I think that was it. Yeah, and then Trossard left wing. So it's much changed from the original. Like you've got Nineri in the centre midfield as well. So that makes a big difference, I think. Mosquera playing at right back, good experience for him just to kind of get used to that position. Because it looks like he might have to deputise there at some point. It would be interesting to see what happens at Anfield. Because Mosquera is Mosquera is a tough ask, I think, at Anfield. But I can't see Timber playing 90 minutes at Anfield. No chance. I don't think he's been able to pull off 90 minutes in quite a while, to be fair. And he did have an injury during the summer as well, so yeah. So much change. There's a long time still to go, to be fair. It's 4-0, but yeah, it's 4-0. But I think there's still more to come, to be fair. It'd be nice to see. Bogle's done all right staying on the pitch, to be fair, as well. Leeds playing with it inside their own penalty area. That's been, so far this season, a problem, and they've given the ball away there. Dalman takes people on. And he loses it. This is kind of predictable. He is a kid. But it'll be interesting to see. So you've got Nwaneri in the centre midfield and then Dharma on the right wing. Very interesting to see how that works. I did see a really funny clip of him taking on I think it was Lewis Skelly, just doing a pirouette around him. Very funny. And Gyökeres with the touch. He's getting a bit more involved in the play here. There we go. I'm just going to quit the message. And zoom Mendy out to, presumably Dalman doesn't collect that. No, yeah. I think that is one of the things that happened earlier in the game, which was really good. We might miss out a bit on is that long ball out to the right hand side, which Saka could collect, and he's so good at doing that. Whereas I think Madueke, Dalman, they're not going to be able to do that as well. I just don't think they're as practiced at that kind of technique, which is a shame. It was a very good weapon today. Playing it back to the goalkeeper, presumably. I'm surprised that Leeds are trying to play. Leeds have consistently tried to play their way out of the back today. It's just not going to work against Arsenal. I think Arsenal's biggest tests are going to come. Oh, just giving the ball away there. Arsenal's biggest tests are going to come against teams who play very direct. Through balls, long balls, really physical, go for second balls. It's going to be much more difficult for them to play against that kind of team. Thankfully, a lot of the big teams don't really play like that. So the only team that's actually worth noting, Newcastle are probably one of the only teams, them and possibly Tottenham are the only teams who really play like that, and they're like at the top end of the league. It's also worth noting as well, I think a lot of people made assumptions at the start of this season with their predictions that Tottenham would be rubbish because they finished terribly last season and they finished in, 5th, 17th or something. I think differently because I think that the squad they've got is quite good. And it's definitely not 17th. Like, they are easily a top 6 squad. No question. And with the additions they've made as well now, they've basically pickpocketed a few other teams in the league who are a bit further down. And they're very, very good players like the winger from West Ham, whose name I've forgotten. But also, I think the defensive midfielder they bought is a very shrewd signing. Palhinha. It's very good. So you've got to be careful with, like, I think Spurs are definitely a threat, and I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with a number 8. Sorry, a number 10 now. Because if they put a good number 10 in there, it'd be really good. But right, I think the game today was them playing a very athletic. Well, there's a chance for Nwaneri. Oh, he's giving the ball away. It would be a good. It was a very athletic midfield, but not necessarily a very technical one. You had the defensive midfielder Pape Sarr as well was just running everywhere and doing everything, and then it was the other one, Bentancur as well. None of them really kind of very technically minded, and I think they are going to have problems if they're playing against a team with a low block without a good number 10, I think. this game's probably done. I think. Oh, we're on 7 o'clock, so 20 minutes. 20 minutes left. Supermandy down making a pass. That's the kind of thing that you see with young players, is they'll often hold onto the ball for a bit too long. He needs to be kind of making a few passes, get himself settled in the game, and then look to make an impact when he gets the chance. Gabriel Magalhaes. That's a nice ball. And just playing the ball out from the back again. It is worth mentioning as well, to be fair, their team doesn't really have much of a target man, Leeds. So it's definitely not a team that's set up to be able to just lob a long ball up and get seconds. Dalman did win. I think he won a couple of penalties in pre-season as well, from what I remember. So that was very interesting. I think he's just so good, dribbling, guarding the ball, getting past players. He's so good and being an absolute nuisance. And weirdly, the fact that he's 15 actually kind of plays into his favour, because when players get physical with him, they just bowl him over. So. He just looks so young. That's dumb, and I just see the picture of him. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. Oh dear, it's less than half my age, which is just insane. So he has a nice shot. Goes over the bar though. Hey, Leeds taking a long goal kick. I think they may have given up on trying to play the ball out from the back. I think they need to stop doing that. Because it was consistently getting him into trouble whilst in the first half. Or they just weren't progressing the ball up the field. They'll get to a certain point, up to halfway, and then Arsenal were like, right, bang, on them straight away, and they weren't playing through Arsenal. Whereas Arsenal will need to. Well, looks like Arsenal have got it. No, never mind. It would be nice to go outright top of the league, but it looks like we're going to go top of the league now, regardless. Noah Okafor's on as well. I missed that. He was their new signing. We only signed him a couple of days ago. Leeds being a bit more aggressive in their press. I think there's a lot of take-ons happening. Lost the ball there. I do wonder whether Trossard, like when Eze comes in, I don't know how much involvement Trossard's actually going to have in this team. Please don't concede. Be very annoyed if we did. This is just like such a gimme of a clean sheet. This it's absolute gimme of a clean sheet. I'm just wondering who I'm going to take out of my team to put Eze in, or do I take Eze out? Do I have much confidence in him actually playing against Liverpool for my fantasy team? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the logic, if the players that were injured today aren't actually properly injured, then if that's the case, then we probably go with the same team that was in the game today. I think. If Saka's injured, it might be a necessity that Eze plays on the left and Madueke on the right. It might be, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know whether giving Eze a debut at Anfield feels like a lot of pressure. A lot of unnecessary pressure. Especially given that's the side that we want to exploit because they don't have a right back right now. I'm really intrigued to see what the possession stats are as well, by the way, because it looks like we've had a lot of the ball today. Let's just check that. 67. Okay, yeah. Potentially was expecting more, but that's fine. I don't know what we're expecting from Leeds this season. Of this performance, I think they're a little timid. Definitely, I remember games against Leeds in the past. Admittedly, I think there's a bit of unusual circumstance around this particular game because of Eze, Gyökeres's first home game. It's a lot of things. Oh, and Dalman missed. Must have saved it, I'm assuming. This will be quite interesting to watch afterwards, I think. I think Dalman could definitely score. Could do. I've tipped 2 people to score so far. Timber to get his second and Gyökeres to get his first. And Saka, I think, as well. And Saka always scores against Leeds. Zubimendi's been very, very good today as well. Interested to see what the football ratings are. Only a 7 for Zubimendi. Interesting. Ugh. Ready for Liverpool next week? Absolutely ready for Liverpool next week, definitely. I think it's a shame about the 2 injuries, but I think this team is still pretty good. If you replace Odegaard with Nwaneri and Saka with Modueke and put Eze on the left, I think that's still a very, very good team, capable of winning at Anfield, definitely. And also, it's probably worth bearing in mind, I think, with the kind of game that we'll have at Anfield, you could probably still play Martinelli on the left. We've kind of forgotten about him today. But I think that's because of how insipid he was against Man United. And it's about whether he can get away with playing that badly again before Christmas. I think if he keeps playing that badly, I think he'll just end up being frozen out of the team. But Liverpool, you'd imagine, usually he plays quite well against Liverpool. He played very well coming off the bench against Liverpool last time. I think he scored a header. And I remember him scoring a goal at Anfield the previous season, or might have been the season before that. But yeah, he does play very, very well at Anfield usually. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta decides to play him there. Super Max Dowman is the chance from the fans. Super Max Dowman. I don't know why you'd leave. I've just heard some people leaving early from the game. Why would you? Why would you? This is such a good game to just sit and enjoy. You don't often get that. You don't often get it. I mean, the control. So Trossard just popped up in the middle of the pitch there, which is interesting. Surprising there. Zubimendi. Skelly taking the passed it to Trossard. Trossard's on the left now. Okay. It would be nice to see Gyökeres get another goal. Oops. Trossard with the pass. Dowman. Oh. Is Dowman that close to goal and not score? Ugh. That's annoying. Leeds taking these goal kicks very quickly. Probably trying to take advantage of Arsenal being quite hard up the field. Ranieri lost it. Ranieri is Gyökeres still on the pitch? Not seen him make a touch for ages. I might just be imagining things, but I'm sure he's still on the pitch. I think it's because that was a long run from Rice. That's why that happened. Yeah. Just going to check the. No, he is on. Yeah, he is on. Odd. Very strange. Very, very strange. How's my battery doing? 37%. It can handle a stream. That's good, as long as it's a high battery. Not that I'll be in this streaming situation very often. It's got to be said. It definitely won't be. It's been good. Yeah. Zubmendi's been on the ball a lot. But I just can't believe how little Gyökeres has actually been on the ball in this last. It's a bit of a shame. I don't know if that's necessarily deliberate or not. But it might be like his presence ends up actually causing them lots of problems. It might end up that, Gyökeres' presence ends up kind of creating space for other people, which we've said about Havertz as well, actually. But I think it's a shame that he's only getting the one goal at the moment. Don't know how long. It's a shame this doesn't actually have a timer. It's a shame. I've got a timer here, I suppose. We're into added time now. Not sure how many minutes. Five minutes of added time. Oh, they literally just said that on the radio as well. That's hilarious. I'm actually needing the loo now as well, so good timing. I think as soon as this finishes, I'm probably going to leave it there. But I will probably do another stream, possibly Monday night or Monday afternoon. Depends. I've got a lot of stuff I'm doing this week. So I'm just talking about this game in particular. I think that might not have another chance to stream until next week, possibly. This is a big I can't believe De Zerbi's still managing at Marseille, by the way. It's such a weird, he's quite a fiery character, and Marseille are a very fiery club. It's not exactly the best combination. Please don't concede now, Arsenal. Come on now. There you go. And there it's gone out to Downman, I'm assuming, on the right hand side, if he even takes it, which he might not. Oh, penalty to Arsenal. Darwin wins a penalty again. Come on, Gyökeres. Darwin wins a penalty again. It's the third time he's won a penalty, if you include the 2 from the friendlies. It's set up by Nwaneri. So who takes it? I'm assuming that they're going to give it to Gyökeres. Surely Gyökeres takes it, right? Surely he does. He won't. Rice won't take it. No chance. Just seen a tweet. Simon Collins. Rice holding the ball, but by Gyökeres prowling next to him like a caged lion. Oh dear. Yeah. Of course they're giving it to Gyökeres. Stat padding. Assuming that he scores, of course, but I think it's he is a very good penalty taker. According to Arteta, he's the best we've got now. And he does score, there you go. Good way to finish the game, 5-0. Fantastic. Doesn't actually tell us where he scored it. But he hits them hard. Great for my fantasy team. Fantastic. Yeah. So hearing the radio commentator describe the celebration is like, who's doing this, doing this, doing this? 5-0 and a good day's work for Arsenal. I think the negatives are certainly that Odegaard and Saka got injured, which one would hope that Arsenal don't rue that. Not that they could have done a lot about that, to be fair, but like that's just bad luck again. Some fantastic play. It feels like Zubimendi is a very, very good player right now. There you go, that's full time. Zubimendi knocking the ball around. Rice had a very good game. Madueke quietly had a very good game as well, I think. Trossard for me, kind of average. I mean, we need to probably look at some ratings on here. Interesting, they've put Madueke at 6.6. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think he provided a bit of threat. Gyökeres 8.9, but not man of the match because Timber's getting a man of the match because he got 2 goals and an assist and a clean sheet. It's like so many points if you've got Timber in your fantasy team. Insane. Is that 2 assists for Calafiori as well? Very good. Great start. Great start from Arsenal. Clean sheet for Raya as well. Not as many saves as last week, but still got the clean sheet. Gyökeres the 2 goals. Saka with 1. Saka getting injured. Odegaard getting injured. Dalman coming on. Nwaneri coming on. You couldn't really... The only way you could make it more perfect for Arsenal is if you rule out those 2 injuries and they both come through the game unscathed. These days, as an Arsenal fan, if you come through a game unscathed, then that's a win in itself. But yeah, as we look at that, I mean, it's complete domination, isn't it? 68% possession, 2.8 expected goals, but we scored 5. That's it's like outscoring your XG is a thing that we had a problem with last season. I do think a bit of that was to do with the corners, but still, yeah, it's in the end, I think Arsenal. I should probably turn this radio commentary off, to be fair, but Arsenal deserve to win. Absolutely deserve to win this game, and I think they've probably set themselves up very nicely for next week at Anfield. It's going to be a very different game next week. I'm expecting backs to the wall, but be a threat on the counter. I think it would be nice to see if Eze plays on the left. If he's ready and happy to do that, I think he could provide such a good threat going forward, because you'll have Gyökeres playing, running in behind Van Dijk. We'll see. But for today, great result, great 3 points. We're top of the league. Really rubbing it in the faces of those Tottenham fans who were singing top of the league earlier today. But nope, they're not top of the league anymore. We are. And now we're playing Liverpool next week. Liverpool would have to win by 5 goals against Newcastle, and Newcastle to top us. So I think we might be ending the week top of the league, unless Forest do something crazy against Palace, which I don't think they're going to. Who else could go above us? That's it. Yeah, only Forest and Sunderland, not Forest and Liverpool could go above us before the end of the weekend. Fantastic. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm hoping this will be on catch up at some point. But yeah, if you're around, I should be able to stream sometime later next week. I think it's unlikely I'll be able to do it. I'll be probably doing a stream Thursday, Friday, possibly next week, in preparation for the game on Sunday, but also going back over this game as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you then.